Good now, everybody, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Monday, August 12th. My name is Evan, and this is your place for helpful Web3 news, commentary, and answers to your crypto questions. If you don't understand what cryptocurrency is, or if you're trying to learn about it, but you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you can't find good answers to the questions you have, and you don't even know what questions to ask, then this is the show for you. We break things down nice and simple for learners at all levels of experience. We don't pander to anybody. Sometimes we get political, but not in one of those we're going to alienate you from your uncle kind of ways. The whole goal, and therefore the name of our show, is after the ethos that everyday people like us can learn and grow and rise up together. And so, there's Will. Welcome, Will. Let me get this out of the way real quick because I've got this cute little banner all worked up, and when you get up here, I'm going to, it'll go away. Myself, my colleague Will, my colleague Alex, this is what we do. We spend time trying to tell a better story about cryptocurrency, and we have an opportunity right now, thanks to our friends at Banana Gun, to give away $50 to somebody who signs up to try their tool for free. If you want to trade cryptocurrency, one of the most helpful tools that you can start using right now are Telegram trading bots. Fast, simple, secure ways to send and receive cryptocurrency. And it's especially critical to have a fast, accurate trade when you're playing around in the meme coin casino. But it matters all the time. Our friends at Banana Gun have built a bot that allows you to snipe a contract. It allows you to copy another trader. It has a built-in honeypot checker that simulates transactions for you. And they gave us a referral link for the show because they did move to meme coins on Solana. So check it out. Sleep says not secure. Is anything secure, Sleeps? What's secure? I have an old friend who talks about how you can trade blockchain with pencil and paper. But even that's not very secure if you yourself are not secure. If you're curious about how to make this and anything you use in crypto more secure, then you're in the right place too. So check out the referral link. You don't have to spend any money for this, and post proof that you sign up in our Discord server. Links all at theriseupmorningshow.com for a chance to win $50. And today on the stream, I will pick a live winner. Hopefully they're live. A winner live on the stream for this last week of referrals. So you still got a little bit of time. I'm going to bring up Alex. Alex isn't here, but I'm just so used to saying I'm going to bring up Alex. I'm going to make my video big again so we can all hang out. There's Will. And, well, he's just doing a build me up buttercup just to let me down. William, my friend. William, can you hear me? Okay, while we're waiting on William, I'm also going to bring up the bacon sandwich. A friend of the show for a long time, but a first-time caller. I know you usually don't have the time zone. You're working, you're doing other stuff, so thank you so much for making time to come on. How are you today?
Yeah, all right, boys and girls. Yeah, I'm actually on a bit of a later lunch today, so I've managed to actually get into the live stream. I've got about 20 minutes before I've got to get back to my desk.
Oh, excellent. Well, then give me a second. We're going to try and bring Will up here. I want to say hi to him, too. Hello, Will.
Hello.
Good to see you.
What's up?
I don't know what was going on there. Somebody thought maybe you were caught up doing your face routine.
No, I did that way earlier. No, my Wi-Fi went out.
Well, I don't know if you heard the bacon sandwich say it, but he only has about 20 minutes, so I wanted to welcome him to the show for the first time. He's been a long-time listener and supporter, community member in the Discord. So I'm going to kick it over to you, since your time is limited, and say, what's on your mind today? How was your weekend? What would you like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really in particular to share. I did go away on a holiday last week in Greece. I think it reached 39 degrees whilst I was out there, which was a little bit too hot to handle. Today is actually the hottest day in the UK that we've experienced this year, so it seems like I might have brought some of the weather home with me as well by the looks of things. But yeah, it's pretty roasting just now.
Which is what, like 82 degrees Fahrenheit for you guys?
No, nothing like that. I mean, the thing is, over in the UK, I mean, anyone that's been here from a more dry country, so let's say somewhere like Greece or North Africa, like Egypt, somewhere like that, the heat's very different here. It only needs to be sort of 32 to be really, really, really uncomfortably hot, where in other places it would need to be 38 in order to feel really uncomfortable heat. But it's a real stifling, sort of wet, damp kind of heat. It's not too fun, not going to lie.
Yeah, I get that. Sticky. It's kind of like that here in Memphis. You just feel like you're walking around in a swamp.
Yeah, man. And it's the kind of thing you just can't get away from the heat. The only thing I find that's useful is wetting my hair. That seems to do a pretty good job of sort of cooling me off a little bit. But you don't want to be sitting in the direct sunlight today, hence why I'm sitting in the shade.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here and you're keeping cool, and also keeping cool. The sunglasses, you're rocking, man.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Was there something particular that was on your
I'll
mind
give my
about?
thoughts on the market.
Yeah. Tell me what's on your mind.
Yeah, so I feel like we bottomed recently. I think if you look at previous cycles, there's always been a bit of a sell-off before we start breaking all-time highs again. Or at least breaking recent highs, shall we say. So yeah, I feel like we might have bottomed recently. Fear and greed index kind of peaked again when that went down. We are still, I think, at 40 greed or thereabouts still. So I still feel, fear, sort of 40 fear. So I do feel like there's an opportunity for us to go up from here. It could be a few weeks, could even be a couple of months. But I think with the US making the decision to lower interest rates, turning the money printer back on, I think will be catalysts for Bitcoin to reach higher prices.
Well said. I'm curious to know what Will thinks, because I know he's got an opinion on it too. I have thoughts on it, but I just want to very quickly define the fear and greed index for anybody who's brand new. Is a metric that measures whether or not people in the market are fearful and selling or greedy and buying. It's a simple metric, scale out of 0 to 100. And so 40 is pretty low. 25 would be like very fearful. And we set some all-time highs recently as Bitcoin was going back up, setting its own all-time highs. I don't remember what the number was, but we were more greedy than we had ever been. So it very well could be. I think it's an interesting metric. What are you thinking, Will? What are you feeling, man?
Yeah, fear and greed is quite an interesting metric, just because if you tend to buy those moments of fear, you always seem to do it right. And if you sell those moments of greed or extreme greed, then you tend to do all right. So, I mean, the fear and greed index can be quite a useful tool, to sort of indicate when to sell. Because a lot of people, let's be honest, don't have a plan. They don't have a price target. So using something like the fear and...
Oh, bacon sandwich, we lost your audio.
Oh.
There you go, you're back. A
Yeah,
lot of
you
people
lost the
don't
last
have a...
sentence.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I was, but I was basically saying that it's a useful indicator for knowing when to enter the market and knowing when to exit the market if you're not so technical and so good at reading charts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you in that it's a very simple tool, and if you just use that, you can time some really nice swings in the market. Just buy when there's extreme fear, sell when there's extreme greed. Typically, you're coming out with money. So it's a real simple indicator that's good for people. It's good for everybody, but especially if you're new to the space, if that's one of the first indicators you can run across, and you actually follow it, because it does go the opposite of your emotions. And it's like, which one do you let lead your decision, right? Your emotions or the indicator? And it can be that's a tough balancing act for people, especially starting out. But if you can, super simple indicator, great for people. Yeah. My thoughts on the market, though, are about the total opposite.
Yeah, your video about Ethereum before we went into the weekend, I thought was great, looking at long term. Which can be tough sometimes with young tokens. We forget they're so young, but what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I mean, if we had a weekly candle close that was above, let me just pull it up so I have the number instead of just saying the 21-week exponential moving average. It was above basically 61.3K. If we were there, and in the last few hours of trading before the weekly candle close, it fell below 60K. The rebound that we got was nice, but ultimately it didn't really accomplish anything that we were hoping to accomplish. I mean, it was a rebound, so that is an accomplishment. That's good. We got saved from the 50K range for now, but we didn't get above 60K from a close, and we didn't get above any one of the exponential moving averages we were trying to get above, which was at 61.3. So we're in a situation still on the weekly time frame where lower highs, lower lows, and we failed again to have a weekly candle close above key support levels that we need to start really showing confidence on weekly time frame that will hopefully then translate to the monthly time frame. And then when I zoom in on the daily chart right now too, we are right now fighting with the 200-day exponential moving average, which essentially, if you're above, you're in a bull market. If you're below, you're in a bear market. So if we fail to hold that line, it's gonna be bad for markets, right? So right now we're above it. So we need to see what happens over the next few days. The daily stochastic RSI is not overbought, so we could get bought up over the next couple days. That's entirely possible. But the monthly time frame trend is still down and to the right instead of up and to the right. So until I start to see Bitcoin reclaim its all-time high at 72K and turn that into support, I don't really have any good reason to be like, hey, altcoins, risk-on assets are going to do great. And then the other thing I'm looking at this week in particular is we have CPI inflation and PPI inflation, which if those are bad, could hurt our chances of getting rate cuts in the middle of September. If they're good, then we're basically guaranteed to have rate cuts in September, which would be a boon for markets, maybe in the short term, probably not in the midterm, but definitely in the long term. Explanation for that being is in the short term, you might get like a final melt up rally before a recession really strikes. If it does, that'd be the timing. Or it's going to be, hey, we get the news of the interest rate cuts, and then it's a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Long term, it's good because liquidity levels going up will rise the markets. But every single time where we have had inflation rise and the Fed increase interest rates, and then they get to the point where they cut interest rates, and the yield curve is inverted. The yield curve, everybody, just what that is it is a 100% accurate recession indicator that is a combination of basically long-term bonds minus short-term bonds. That's all you need to know about that. Push that to the side. Just know that when this number is negative and then flips positive again, recessions have been called 100% of the time by it when it switches from negative to positive. It switched from negative to positive last week, but it fell back below it into negative. So we'll see what happens. But when you have interest rates starting to be cut at the same time as this yield curve goes from negative to positive, you do have a recession coming anywhere between 2 months to 6 months, just about, give or take, about a month in either direction after that happens. Now, that still gives us some runway, which is why, it could be, we could still have like one more pump up rally potentially for altcoins. And for Bitcoin, that could totally happen before recession just kind of pounds us into the dirt. Bitcoin's not going to be safe from that, guys. It's not. And altcoins won't be either. So there's a lot of scary macroeconomic things going on. And then the other thing in the short term this week is keep your eye on the Middle East. Because if the Middle East blows up, I mean, pun unintended.
Great choice of words,
yeah.
Will.
If it, worsens, what you're going to see is you're going to see uncertainty hit the market because people are going to, which results in selling. And then the other thing is you're going to have oil prices start to go upwards, which hurts inflation, which hurts everyday people, which means that people have less and less money to spend on things, which means U.S. consumption levels start to go down. If that happens, stock market starts to fall. If the stock market starts to fall, unemployment goes up. If unemployment goes up, people have even less and less money. Recession deepens, and then, markets tank. And even though interest rates will be being cut, those interest rates are still high. Even though they're coming down, they're still high. They're still constrictive for a good amount of time. And it also takes about 6 months for the effect of interest rates to start to be felt in markets. So I say all this not to really scare people, but I say all this to, it's probably a really good time to take a look at an honest look at your portfolio and say, cool, there's a possibility of there being a pump in the short term, potentially. There's also the possibility of market-wide collapse, you know? So how I've positioned my portfolio in the market, am I overexposed to that? How much risk do I have? If this money, if we don't get the pump and it's market-wide collapse and this money goes down, how down bad am I, right? Do I want to de-risk a bit? That's what I ultimately did for myself. Do I want to de-risk? Because there's a really scary possibility and then like a pretty good possibility, because the really good possibility is we're in the 4-year cycle, it's up for another year or so, year and a half or so. But the odds of that right now, given the macroeconomic picture, are really low. So ask yourself the question, how I've positioned myself in the market. Am I comfortable with a small, doing air quotes around small, because it still could be like, you could have an altcoin still go up like 200, 300%, am I positioned well in the market to have a small chance of experiencing a 200, 300% altcoin over the next maybe month or two, as compared to a growing likely scenario of this altcoin maybe going down 90%. Right? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And is your portfolio in a position to make sure that you're comfortable with knowing about these percentage chances of maybe a small payday at like 25%, I'd say, and then like a growing 50% chance of market-wide collapse, and then like a very smaller chance of 4-year cycle still on. Ask yourself that question. Make sure you're positioned to preserve your capital. Sorry, I went on and ranted for a while there, but
it's okay, man. It's okay. I'm appreciative to you for putting it in perspective. And for anybody who missed the rant, the thesis is basically ETH down, Bitcoin scary, U.S. metrics coming out, could be bad news. Wait and see. De-risk yourself. Alex, welcome to the show. I actually wanted to kick it to Bacon because I know he's only got a couple more minutes before he goes.
All right, I ate into your time, Bacon.
No, you're good, man. I specifically wanted to ask you what you think about this as somebody who's not based in the U.S., the influence that our metrics have on the rest of the picture. Is this an accurate assessment in your eyes, or are you guys not as worried about our numbers? And what else do you think?
Yeah, I think it does have some level of leadership in the market. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. But I think what it is, a lot of other governments around the world, they look at what America are doing and will look to replicate what they're doing, because, well, if the USA are doing it like this, then maybe we should be doing it the same way too. So I think that's where the influence outside of the US occurs. So I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I'm much more of a technical kind of guy, where I believe the charts tell me more information than the news.
Oh, you
lost your audio again.
Do see it as catalysts. Yeah, that will happen occasionally. I'm getting phone calls coming through. I don't know if you can still hear me.
You're a popular guy. Everybody wants you on their show today. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it. The US, I think, does influence the market, but for me, I'm much more of a technical guy. I believe that the chart is king, but there are some catalysts towards that. I think it aids in acceleration of an existing move rather than the instigator of the move itself. That's interesting. And somebody made a great comment below worth noting on that if you're a long-term investor, a lot of this really doesn't matter in the sense that it's a big event for price, but it's not a big event in the sense that anything fundamentally has really changed about Bitcoin, about Ethereum, about crypto writ large.
Exactly. And the 4-year cycle is still on as far as I'm concerned. We've actually breached all-time highs where we hadn't in previous cycles. I just think it's maybe just a little bit more accelerated this time round. And every time there is always a big dip, there's a rise, there's consolidation, and then there's a big drop off, and then we start moving upwards. And I kind of feel like we're in that position now where we've had that big drop off, we've had the big dump, we've had the recovery, we've had the accumulation, and the kind of the slowdown of all the oscillating indicators and stuff like that. We've had the big sell-off last week, and I feel like we're really primed to continue the 4-year cycle from now.
Well, we certainly will see. Alex, brother, how you doing?
I'm alive.
You're alive. Hanging out in Miami with our friend Mac Lorden. Did you get to put your eyes on that beautiful baby girl?
Oh yeah, she's I can hear her chirping upstairs. So they're up there doing something.
What time are you heading on the road? And what has your weekend seen you do so far?
I'll probably get on the road in like 30 to 45 minutes, to be honest, just to get up there. Today's Jordan's first day of school.
Good for him.
Nice.
He was up and out the door. First day of 5th grade. So I hear from Christina that he was very excited about it, which is good, because I was also very excited for him to go back to school.
Listen, 5th grade, good for him. He'll be the king of the hill, full of whatever you're full of in 5th grade, and hopefully a lot of it is joy for life.
Mm-hmm. No, he should be good. He's got open house is good. Likes his teacher, although yet again his teacher is about imminently staring at the precipice of maternity leave. So he really likes his teacher, and she's about to go on leave for ages. But not too many of his friends, which is good, which is what I was hoping for, that it would not be quite as much of a distraction. Although he's a real butterfly, so he's just gonna make a ton of friends anyway. But
that's good. That's good.
The courses in grade 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
It is a delight whenever Jordan pops into the stream and he just says, "Hey." I absolutely love it. And it, is secretly a lot of fun to shout him out, because I hope he gets a little thrill out of it. You know how that is when you're
he does
getting a shout out on a stream. So what have you guys, when you go visit Mac, I know you always have a chance to talk about what he's thinking about crypto, and stew your thoughts together. Have you talked about much crypto together this weekend?
Not a tremendous amount, actually. A little bit about his jobs. He's getting back to normal person work. But if he comes down, he can talk about it for a smidge. But no, not really. A lot of played a lot of Xbox. We were doing some old school Halo yesterday, which was super fun. And I think the theme here to this time has mostly been food. Some insane restaurant trips.
Well, speaking of food, I know it's about lunchtime there in the United Kingdom, and I know that the bacon sandwich is without lettuce and tomato and has to go in just a second. So let me real quick ask, do you have a final thought before you leave the stream for today? Do you have a place that you want people to find you, follow you, and ask for the community?
Cheers, man. Check out the link on my profile. It takes you to my Slink page, which is much like a link tree, but much better. I do a bunch of stuff. I make content on TikTok around my thoughts on political things as well as cryptocurrency. I'm kind of at the forefront of Web3 builders and creatives, where I host a platform on Twitter where we've spoken to nearly 300 different individual projects or people. We basically interview people on Twitter about the things that are being built for the future. Some of it's DeFi stuff, some of it's music, some of it's kind of NFTs, some of it is sort of built around NFT fractionalization of businesses and stuff like that. So we do some really cool stuff over on Twitter every Friday and Saturday evening, as it would be in the UK. I think it's like 4 p.m. Eastern time, I think, for you guys, but that's definitely worth checking out, because we speak to so many different people across the industry in so many different pockets and different areas of the industry. It's quite amazing.
Man, well, thank you very much for the shout. Feel free to post that in Discord too, and then let us know who you're gonna have on next, so we can support you.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. I'll keep you guys informed. If you don't mind me dropping the Twitter link in there every week, I'm happy to let you know who we've got on and stuff like that. I don't expect people to turn up every week, but you might see something that interests you. You might quite like music or the creativity that goes behind making music. We get a lot of music artists coming through because obviously there's a lot of people building music artists building on the blockchain with things like NFTs and stuff like that, and there's some of the amazing community stuff you can achieve with NFTs. People are really utilizing this new technology and creating new use cases that never existed before.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited about it. Have you had a conversation with Tatiana? Have you had her on your show? She's one of my favorite people to hear talk about that specifically.
Yeah, I mean, we're always open for new guests. I mean, we're looking for new guests every week. We do a 2-hour space. We feature 2 guests per 1 hour per person. Normally it overruns by quite a bit, let's be honest. So we're always looking for new people to meet, people that are building in the industry, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to have you guys to come and visit us one time if we can arrange that. Get you guys to come on. We'll talk crypto for an hour.
Man, it sounds great. We'd be glad to be there. Let's set it up, and you can post it in the general chat, but I will soon, I think, have a channel for people to just share what they're doing so that everybody can follow everybody else and keep up with it. So thanks for coming on, man, and have
cheers,
a great
man.
start to your week. Take care. Yeah, Alex, somebody asked me about that this weekend, and I was like, oh yeah, we talked about that before. We definitely need to have a channel, and maybe I'll pop one up during the live stream that you can just share what you're doing so that we can all kind of support each other, whether it's your business, your e-commerce store, your crypto platform. You want feedback, you have a newsletter. I don't know. I think that we have a great opportunity to just
kind of a general shill yourself sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm. We could even call it that. Shill yourself. Shill yourself.
Yeah,
that brings me back to Mortal Kombat immediately.
I'm very down.
Make it so. I'm doing it right now. Shill yourself. Bam. Will, I wanted to just, while we're talking about markets still, I heard a really interesting sort of bull case for Ethereum specifically that was talking about in the fallout from the carry trades and jump specifically, selling some ETH, and the relative neutrality, you mentioned this, of inflows, outflows, that ETH specifically is pretty much set. In terms of if macro events happen, we can't do much about that. But micro events in the Ethereum ecosystem, like, things are looking pretty good. This was a conversation I was listening to on Chained, but that was the long and the short of it. The firm moved a lot of money to an exchange. The inflows and outflows were not so bad. The ETFs seem to be, on their way to priced in if they're not already, and therefore everything that's building can hopefully continue to percolate and elevate. I am worried that it will happen soon because I would like to accumulate more ETH. And that's like my personal position right now is whether the bottom is in or not, I am DCing into Ethereum again for the first time in a while in a concerted way since like 2900. Just because I don't know if it goes up, if I'll get a chance to get this kind of a discount again. If it goes way up, I can stop buying, but I always need Ether. I use it all the time. And mostly I just like having it at a discount. So I'm kind of expecting it will go up because I don't know that the macro events are going to have as big of an effect on it specifically. And if they don't, I think the micro events, Ethereum specific stuff, is mostly quite bullish.
Yeah, so I would say that just looking at the ETFs I think are pretty bullish because we had like really big outflows from Grayscale for a pretty short period of time, and then it really trailed off into like nothing now. It's like a few $10 million here or there of outflows. And the thing is, though, you haven't had huge inflows come in either, but you've had enough to the point now where if you have an outflow day or an inflow day from the ETFs, it's pretty just kind of net neutral. The ETFs are pretty net neutral right now. And you have better, not supply side tokenomics of Ethereum than Bitcoin because you don't, but you have better availability of Ethereum supply on crypto markets, like on not crypto markets, exchange listings for Ethereum, meaning that there's less available supply of Ethereum up for sale on exchanges than for Bitcoin. So you have a neutral ETF, and you're like, okay, and you have a lower supply side availability for Ethereum than you do for Bitcoin. You go, okay, so if Bitcoin can go up and start to reclaim some market share, Bitcoin can go up and reclaim its all-time high, Ethereum could be in a position to do really, really well, right? Assuming, of course, that Grayscale's selling doesn't really tick up as, you know, the price of Ethereum goes up, right? That's the scenario to keep your eyes on there from like a micro event. But yeah, the thing is though, is that Ethereum won't go up if Bitcoin doesn't go up. And that's the thing. So I would say altcoins are even more so than Bitcoin at exposure of what's happening in the macroeconomic picture, because altcoins are just more fragile than Bitcoin, as we all know. Ethereum is still an altcoin, even though it's the biggest one. So macroeconomic events, if they turn bullish, altcoins are more sensitive to that and they'll fly upwards, including Ethereum. But if they turn bearish, you know, you're going to have bear market lows for altcoins. And I mean, like, when I mean bear market, I mean like, you know, 4-year cycle bear market, not like, oh, hey, we're having a little correction in a bull market. I mean, bear market
Deep
numbers.
market, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, like deep cuts. Deep. So yeah, that's my take on it. But you're right, from a micro standpoint, things for Ethereum are looking pretty good. You're having more and more people get on base. As more and more people get on base, you have more demand for Ethereum being used, even though the fees are low. That's still, you know, more natural demand for Ethereum. So from a micro standpoint, things for Ethereum look pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, and base is where all my attention is on ETH. All the ETH I buy, pretty much, I'm using to do stuff. It's
If you're
it's a great time to be
then like, you know, it's great to be grabbing some ETH right now.
I wish I had more because I would like to speculate on it though. If I'm being frank, you know,
But that's a different kind of speculation too. That was kind of one of the points I've been making lately. Was I mean, with the video yesterday, which was absolutely, I tagged both of you in it. Will, I think that was one of my favorite ways I've ever heard someone phrase, you know, the demand for something, being that the target audience has been reached as an accumulator of it for utilitarian purposes. So there's definitely some confusion in the comments, I think. So I'll probably make a follow-up today when I get home, or tomorrow. But because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I also like RWA, or I like, you know, DPIN or whatever. And it's like, yeah, no, okay, all great. But the thing is, like Evan is just describing right now, it might be a good play for you to speculate on a DPIN narrative project, or an AI project, or an RWA project, or something like that. Take Ondo, for example. Ondo is like undoubtedly a strong pick for lots of people. Tons of people are a huge fan of it. However, I would guess pretty confidently that the overwhelming majority of people who are buying Ondo are not using Ondo's product service. They are speculating on the potential price increase of the token, assuming that it gets adoption the way that we all would like it to be adopted. Whereas with ETH, particularly around base right now, people like Evan and me and Will are buying it because we do hope the price goes up. Of course, that's always part of it. You know, I would love to see that happen. However, I also just want to use it. I want to have it so that I can use it, which is a very different reason to purchase a cryptocurrency than just price action motivation. And that is for me, like, when Will said that about DeFi, I was like, okay, yeah, so if you apply this logic to everything, it can definitely shape the way that you look at every single narrative. Between just I think it's a great way to help break down in your mind, why are you looking at something.
I liked your video on that, by the way. Also
great.
because I agreed with it.
Well,
I
it was,
liked it
it was
because I
inspired.
agreed with it.
It was inspired by you, so I hope that you would.
Yeah, I liked it. I think I even reposted it. I was like, yes, these are good words. I like these words. Yeah, talking about DeFi and gaming.
Yeah, it's one of those things if people are constantly asking for thoughts on crypto, whatever, and I can find a new way to succinctly phrase something about how to position yourself mentally to examine something and come up with your own thoughts on it rather than asking us, then that's a phenomenal video. And that's exactly what that is. It's like this now becomes one of the questions you have to ask yourself before you buy something. And not to say like if you don't plan on using it for utility that you shouldn't do it, because maybe the speculation is where it's at. And there's plenty of cryptos where that has been a good play. The guessing that this was going to be better in the future. It's a little riskier, but potentially rewarding if you feel like taking that risk. Just a good distinction, I think, to make in your mind, and another good way you can think about it and just have a more solid, more well-informed opinion about something.
Very well said.
It's just like it's such a simple question that a lot of like new people won't ask. It's just like, okay, what does this do? Do people need to use that? Okay, I got no. Moving on to the next coin.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you want to gather conviction about like what does this do, Ethereum is honestly a really deep rabbit hole where you could start.
Yeah.
I think Bitcoin is probably the easiest and maybe the best like inroad if you still haven't done that work to understand like what is this product, why is it valuable. But Ethereum is so deep. Devil was talking about their 2025 upgrade. They're shipping an upgrade to the network next year that is going to incorporate approximately 11 Ethereum improvement proposals with like big infrastructural changes to the ecosystem that thousands of people have contributed feedback to, and literally millions of transactions will test live. And this happens on Ethereum all the time. The update is called Pectra. I honestly haven't done my homework on it. I don't know enough about it to tell you more. I'm waiting for an Unchained episode to come out, frankly, where they interview Vitalik and he tells me just like, straight from his mouth, or a core contributor or something. Devil King, if you have more news about it or what you're excited about, let us know. And if you're already like, wow, that is a deep rabbit hole, take me back. I want to just let you guys know. I think, Alex, you were there for a second last night when I was on the stream just talking about the giveaway, working on the newsletter. And Joe, one of our regular listeners, came through with his wife. And, man, it was such a car talk moment. I wish you guys had been there because we were looking at a token on Dex Screener. Were you there for this, Alex?
No.
We had a good old How to Read the Blockchain Explorer lesson.
Hell yeah.
And that's also a good place to start. That's what this is bringing me to. It's like it's if you're not excited about the economics of it, you just want to kind of get more acumen being on chain, learning to read a blockchain explorer, learning about Bitcoin, Ethereum, what they do, why they do it. Those are great places to start. And that's our favorite lesson. And Joe, God bless him, he was looking at something on Dex Screener he didn't understand. And we just kind of sat down and figured it out together, got under the hood, saw it wasn't terribly scary, and learned what all this on the Explorer is that he was looking at. It was really fun. We found that there was a meme token called Crying that launched about a month and a half ago that 46 hours, 2 days ago, started getting a lot of traction and a lot of traction on social media. And it turned out there was a market maker who was adding significant amounts of liquidity. A market maker created the initial supply. It was a Pump.Fund token. We saw the wallet that migrated it from Pump.Fund to Radium. And then we saw just a few hours ago, somebody start to add some big liquidity. It looked like somebody was trying to, make the price look good. It was not a honeypot. We learned a lot and it wasn't so bad. So I'm probably going to post that later, maybe as a standalone YouTube video, just as an example. It was so good. But those are the kind of skills you can start building that will pay off for you almost every time you do anything on chain. Similarly, learning about these different kinds of projects and tokens, if you're investing or if you're just hanging out here, will help you have a deeper understanding every time you look at a project or token. Is this for me? Is it not? because there are so
Yeah.
many places you can park your attention, and not all of them are worth it.
I've been saying for
Oh,
sorry,
go ahead.
Will.
Go ahead.
Just real quick, I've been saying for years and making videos about it for years that the single most useful and beneficial skill that you can acquire for yourself in this space is to learn the basics of reading a blockchain explorer.
Well, and really quick, we do already have a good long form video up on YouTube where Alex and I walk you through it. But this one will be a good applied example, and I'll post it later. Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you guys a what if that does tie in to what we're talking about now, which is how do you read the blockchain? How do you find, take a look, try to find the cryptos that are actually being used, all that kind of stuff, right? So I want to give you a what if question that I've been asking myself, and I have my answer, but that I've been asking myself, and it's on the investing side of crypto. The what if scenario are two scenarios, and I want two answers from both of you. If Bitcoin goes back up and reclaims its all-time high and it's party and sunshine, right? 4-year cycle continues and we start to see an altcoin season. What altcoins are you looking to buy or buy more of at that point? And then the flip side, so that's the bull case. Now the bear case, if Bitcoin and there's a recession, everything tanks, right? However long or however short that lasts, everything tanks. Let's say Bitcoin, I'm just going to pick a number out of my ass. Let's say Bitcoin's in the 30,000 range. Right? That's how bad it is. Okay. What coins other than Bitcoin? Actually, no. You can include what coins are you buying in that scenario in a bear market scenario? So the bull case and the bear case. And I'm curious to see if your answers change because mine certainly do.
Interesting. Do you want to give a summary of yours first while I see Alex stroking the beard? I want to just write.
I can, but I don't want to influence your answers.
No, I don't know. You might make me say, "Oh, that's a good one. I forgot about it," or get me pumped up to disagree with you. But I just want to formulate my thoughts because I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Give yourselves a second. So in the bull case, if Bitcoin reclaims its all-time high and it's all sunshine and roses, I'm really just looking at taking my stable coins and putting them into Aerodrome, Jupiter, maybe Ondo, and then I might get one bigger meme coin. And that'll be it. Those will be the 4. If it's the bear case scenario, I will start out only buying Bitcoin. I will only be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin until I start to see like a higher low form on Solana. And then I will scoop up Solana, and that'll be it. It'll be the only altcoin I'd be buying in the bottom of the bear market would be Solana. Because I would basically just switch into bear market mode. We're going to okay, it's now time to take the profits that I have from my altcoins, put them into Bitcoin because that's my strategy. And then the rest of the money I have, what altcoins being used more than anything right now? Ethereum, Solana. Which of those ecosystems am I more bullish on long term? Solana. Okay, I'm going to buy Solana. And all these other altcoins, like that point, everyone knows I wouldn't buy Aerodrome or Jupiter, which was in my bull case scenario, because now we're at the point where they're, again, in this bear market scenario, right? We're now at the point where both of those coins have salty bag holders. And also with Aerodrome specifically, it has bad tokenomic supplies, which can very easily be overcome given their adoption in a bull market. But if you're in a bear market, it becomes a big weight. Becomes a big weight. So yeah, I would just be buying Solana. Because the platform cryptos will get used, and particularly if Solana has like a successful fire dancer upgrade. So that's what I would do in either scenario. So I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts would be.
You want to go first, Alex? You want me to?
I can, just because my answer is boring. Well, I mean, to be fair, my answer to this, the entire bull market has also been kind of boring. So the boring answer is Bitcoin always, ETH and Sol, regardless of scenario, just because 1, actively use them both. 2, from a speculative standpoint, if we get some really good action down on Solana, then I feel great about gambling on that one. It's just been doing really well. If we ever revisit my most recent low entry price, I would definitely get more.
back down to like, what was that, $27?
Yeah, yeah, mid to upper 20s. Will, I think it's interesting about, because one of my instincts was also like, Jupiter or a couple other DeFi plays in popular ecosystems. But to your point about, the things that act as weights during bear market times, Mac and I were just talking about this yesterday with regards to either like mining infrastructure or just general DeFi staking plays, or, Mac, what else was it? Was it just mining stuff? The idea that like things that you think like, okay, I could totally see how this could do a great job at surviving the bear market because it's a way to accumulate this thing that people like. And so if it's something that you can mine or something that you can stake, that, you would just see these long-term, hodlers like accumulated during the bear market. Kind of thought the same thing about gaming. That actually, that's my final thought there. I'm curious to see how gaming tokens do if the games manage to be enjoyable enough that they can keep players engaged during a bear market, which none of these games have ever really been tested that way, except for maybe Axie and Gods Unchained.
Oh, I recently, this morning or last night, I started to see my first tweets about Off the Grid.
Oh, okay.
Like, hey, this game's fun. And I was like, wait a second. Wait a second.
That's kind of how I feel about Gods. Is just that it did go through the entirety of the recent bear market and has risen again as like a viable option and something fun. Not a huge fan of speculating on single games. I much prefer the ecosystem because I'm a little bit more conservative there. But so to recap, Bitcoin and ETH always, Solana probably also in both scenarios. Mm-hmm. The bull market trend, I would be still interested in Ronin and Immutable X, because I think they're doing a great job of cultivating players and having fun with them and giving them more regular releases to do stuff with and to try out and play. Not so much that there is like one hyper dominant game, which is currently kind of the Avalanche thing, with Shrapnel being undeniably great. Huge fan, love them. Team's awesome, very nice. However, it is one game and it hasn't been through a bear market yet. I'm inclined to say that they will probably do well because the game is genuinely very enjoyable, and I'm not super concerned about the crypto when I'm playing it, so that's good. And then bear market play, if I was to add anything else, it would, in the gaming section, if I wanted to be real frisky, it would probably be something like Gods, just because it did it once before, and I might be willing to take a bet that it might do it again. Memes wise, I don't know that I mean, I'm kind of a Pepe Maxi in terms of like, non little teeny super sus memes, but if I think of like one big meme that I just like, if I was going to be in the cult of a meme, probably Pepe. So I might add a little bit more of that in a bear scenario just to have fun.
I'm going to describe you and also introduce you to anybody I have the opportunity to introduce you to as a Pepe Maxi.
Yes. Brilliant.
From here on out. Hi, this is Alex. He's a Pepe Maxi.
Yeah. It is literally just, it's still in the portfolio. It's way up from where I got it at, and it sparks joy. I find the frog funny.
It sparks joy. I love that. That's such like an innocent way of describing Pepe. Why'd you buy this? It sparks joy in my life.
When I Marie Kondo'd my portoffolio, Pepe survived. That's all I'm saying.
I love that for you.
Here, get a quick before he gets off to his.
What's up, lads? How you guys doing?
Doing good. You going to your day job?
Yeah, dude. The grind. I woke up to the team is all in Singapore, so I woke up to just a bunch of messages. I was hoping to get on here and chat with you guys a little bit, but
did you hear the question? You could answer the question real quick in 2 minutes before you hop on.
What?
Question is, if Bitcoin goes way up, alt season happens, are you changing your portfolio at all? Buying, selling? And if it goes way down, no alt season, whatever, down below 30K, are you changing your portfolio at all? Buying?
Basically, like, what would you get if
Basically,
the bear market continues versus what would you get if we pop into another bear market?
When is it going to continue? Like in the next 2 months?
Tomorrow you wake up, right?
Yeah, tomorrow you wake up, Bitcoin's established support at 72K and is clearly going to the upside, and Bitcoin dominance is beginning to fall and flow into alts. Or you wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin is at $33,000. We're in a bear market now / global recession. Which altcoins or cryptos in general are you buying in both scenarios?
If it falls, I'm not doing anything. If it stays where it is, I'm not doing anything either. But if it goes up, because I'm kind of done buying. I kind of already have packed my bags. Maybe here and there I'll buy a couple more, but nothing on the horizon yet. So yeah, the only time I would sell is if it significantly, like if Bitcoin's at 6 figures and it starts establishing higher support, and then the alts start going, then maybe I'll start trimming. But my alt bag's already down so bad, it's just like, why would I sell now, let alone an additional 50% off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, I'm glad I got to see you at least. I got to hop on this call, but just wanted to say hey.
Good to see you.
Mike.
All right, peace, guys.
I'm gonna give you your office.
Okay, so Alex had some moves, Mac had no moves, and my moves would be, if we went up, I would pretty much do nothing. I would maybe take some profit to stables, and just hold them at different markers, and eventually on the way down buy more Bitcoin. I might continue to DCA. I'll probably continue to DCA Bitcoin forever, Well, hey, G, what's going on, girl? What are you buying, baby?
What are you buying?
Why are you talking to me so early?
G is also a Pepe Maxi. She just told me.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
What do we got? Huh? I know, I really just put you on the spot here, didn't I? She's like, dude, rude.
Okay, if it's a bear scenario, I'm buying everything. I'm buying more Bitcoin. I'm buying
One of each, please.
One of each coin.
one of each, and I'll take 2 of that one. I'm buying Sol, big time buying Sol. I'm gonna aggressively buy Solana. I'm gonna aggressively buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin because it is the token I have the most conviction in. It is the token that I am least likely to get at a discount as time goes on. Ether and Sol because I have the second most conviction in them. Probably more Sol than Ether because I think it has an outsized opportunity for price action to the upside. I probably will not hold my Sol as long as I hold my Bitcoin or as long as I accumulate Ether. I don't really know. But those are pretty permanent positions for me. And other things I would buy DeFi protocols with like either a lot of activity like Arrow or with a high tokens unlocked to revenue generated ratio. If 100% of the supply is unlocked and they are consistently earning revenue because people are using them and it's a DeFi protocol like an Aave, like a Lido, like a Maker, I'm going to buy those things. I don't hold positions in those right now. I'm pretty much layer 1 and layer 1 dexes. I would open more DeFi positions. I have a position in Arrow. I have a position in Jupiter. I have a position in StoneFi. But I would get more maybe Toncoin. I would get more. I would get some Aave, some Maker, some Lido. It's tough because I really don't like having more than 10 or 15 tokens at a time. But if we had like such a tragic dip that the market was wrecked, I would say I'd whip out my list of what is everything I think is going to, be around for more than a year or two when the price goes back up. If the price action isn't going to kill it, if it's really building something, I would have to sit down and have a come to Jesus moment with myself about what I have the most conviction in and what I wanted to do with the money. I would be fighting a FOMO, but I think I would diversify a little more than I have because there are a lot of tokens that I think are representative of products that are interesting to me. I might buy some Caspa. I might buy some BRC20s just to play with them. There are a lot of things I think I would move money into if I thought the upside opportunity was there, but definitely DeFi protocols that are revenue generating with a high supply unlocked. That would be my number one target after Bitcoin.
I think that's
Ethereum.
really smart. Yeah, I think that's really smart. If you're going to play with altcoins, go with ones that are being used, DeFi is being used, and then go for ones that have their total supply unlocked and a high revenue generation. That's super smart. I think that's great. It's a perfect answer.
And then I hope you think it's smart too that if it was the bull run, I mean, buy high, sell low, right? You know, I just wouldn't do anything. I would take profits.
Yeah. I like how everyone's answer is like a little different, but I do like that across the board, we're all like, Solana's in there.
Yeah, everybody's very bullish on Sol right now. That's
on Sol. But also, chat, let us know in either scenario. Just write like bull and then maybe your top 3 coins you'd buy in the bull market, and then bear, maybe your top 3 coins you'd be looking to buy in the bear market. Let us know. Get that chat going as I try to influence people to engage more. Get those engagement levels up, guys.
Well, and we do have some good comments here that I'll read out for you.
Good ones.
So I know that Bacon Sandwich had a comment about took their first leverage position this year on Celestia, and somebody else in the comments was talking about a leverage trade they wanted to execute on ETH last week. I had planned to do it and ran out of time. So I honestly think that would be, if I wanted to do a riskier play, if we were going to go down, I would just take a long on something like ETH or Sol. I see a lot of Bitcoin,
Arrow, Bitcoin, Solana, XRP.
The other good thing to consider for Sol specifically, in a bear scenario, is that one of the reasons I'm so confident in them is their uncanny ability to talk to their people. By that I mean us, in the language that like everyone understands and speaks, instead of you having to like trust a bunch of PhDs to make good decisions for you with your money, which is sort of like the Cardano or the Algorand case, or any of those right now, which are like technically superior, and yet no users are there doing stuff. And I have more confidence in Solana as a brand, as a group, as a foundation to navigate a bear market by, talking to people in a way that is helpful, like adapting themselves to be in that scenario. That's really the reason. Like we're witnessing, I think, with Solana, the first time that a company essentially is, navigating market tumult without like, I don't know exactly how to phrase it, without like having a tantrum. I think like lots of cryptos did in the bear market, just like thinking about how prices are down, but hey, it's like, why? Give me one good reason. Whereas, Solana kind of pivoted and changed and then added a whole bunch of stuff, and it was just different.
So something I see is again a lot of Bitcoin on the dip. I see Doom. You said if it was going up, you'd buy DEX tokens. I am really wary about buying DEX tokens on the way up because I have made a mistake in my past, and I might be projecting, of only paying attention to DEX tokens when everyone else is paying attention to them. The best time to accumulate those kind of things are when there is a dip in an ecosystem that matters. Because if people are going to keep using it and you get it at a discount, there definitely is a hype cycle. I find in those things, it just moves slower. I don't like to buy them too much in the up times personally. I don't know. That was a good question, Will.
Yeah, that's what I've been mulling over myself. Obviously, because of being in stablecoins, I'm like, okay, cool. What do I want to see to dive back in? I want to see this or this in either bull or bear scenario. What would I be buying? Different. Oh, this is a fun question. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good question. The other question that's on the other side of it is like, kind of the one like Alex is exploring in terms of narratives. But one of the questions I find myself wrestling with a lot, somebody in the comments is expressing like a frustration, like, oh, crypto, market, Fibonacci. It can be overwhelming or easy to get burned out on. But I've been looking at a lot of consumer crypto stuff lately, and I honestly feel like that moves even faster than the financial stuff. In terms of like,
what do you mean by consumer stuff?
I mean like products that people are building that you can try right now to get on chain. Like our friend Machiste built the base token store, and Solana I saw a new protocol in Solana called Sol Smart, SMORT, which is like Polymarket but on Sol, and you don't lose any principal. You just are staking. And if your bet is right, you get a bigger share. If your bet is wrong, you just don't get any, yield. I'm seeing messaging apps. I'm seeing trading bots. I'm seeing social DAOs. I'm seeing on-chain games. I just mean there's like stuff to use and touch. Coinbase just brought a bunch of coffee shops on chain and had a whole initiative around how you could buy somebody a coffee with crypto to help onboard them and get them a smart wallet and all this stuff. It is like even more than I don't get affected by price moving that much anymore because of how I have built my portfolio. But I am affected every day, all the time by like, try this protocol, join this social, talk here, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nuts. Somebody mentioned that the token DGen is getting listed on Coinbase. Lutendra was saying, that was a big thing for a while. Is when tipping became a function on Farcaster. Everybody on Warcast was trying to accumulate DGen to get this allowance of essentially free money that they could send other people. Everybody was caught up in that, and then it became Ham token, and then it became Farther token, and I mean, it's just I'm burned out on consumer crypto. I love it. I'm burned out on it though.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you, man.
So I have to jump off here in a second and get on the road and whatnot. But really quick, someone asked why gaming was my favorite utility. So I was just saying it in the comments there. So I outlined it in my most recent video. If you want perhaps a more well thought out, not just off the top of the head answer, but essentially it is just because gaming is one of the few utilities that appeals to the actual user of the product also as the buyer of the token, which just doesn't happen too terribly often in crypto. And I firmly believe that gaming as an industry and Web3 as an industry are just like the match made in heaven. Gaming is like the easiest utility to relate to Web3 stuff. You have people who live in the digital, they buy digital things, they play digital things, all of their property is digital, and they don't really own any of it. Like I bought, Will, pray for me, I bought Elden Ring the other day.
Oh man.
I have never played it before for a very specific reason, because I know exactly what it's going to do to me. It's going to consume me.
I somehow broke out of it. I put 15 hours in, and I was like, I'll play this tomorrow, and that was like 4 or 5 months ago. Because it's just so much time. I'm like, so much time. It's scary.
It happened when I started Skyrim years and years and years ago, and it consumed me, and it's about to happen again. But the point is that I bought it, and I just downloaded the game, right? And so what I own is not the game. I own the right to use a thing as long as whoever owns the server sees fit. But I don't own anything. I didn't get something that I can like possess for myself, right? Like I can't, it's on my Microsoft account, on my Xbox. If I like lose access to that account, I have to buy the game again. I can't like go reinstall it on someone else's Xbox with a different account if I lose mine. That sucks. So I would say gaming needs Web3 to just be better. And I think right now we're in the infancy, so there's a lot of speculation, a whole bunch of crap. There's a bunch of shitty games that come out, and there's a bunch of mediocre games that just slap a classic crypto pyramid scheme in there and call it a Web3 game, and that's not helpful. But it as an industry is where a ton of my attention is, for sure.
Alex, what do you think about somebody in the chat mentioned VV, and we've talked about it, but it's not kind of like a mainstream crypto thing, but they have so many NFTs and so many things, data points on chain, that I have kind of felt like they might be a sleeper for gaming. Like for consumers to come in.
For which group?
VV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them, honestly, myself.
Oh, dude, they're I think by volume they might be one of the biggest like NFT marketplaces. They launched the Matrix collection. They launched a lot of mainstream stuff. I think there was a Star Wars collection. A lot of people who are tokenizing major brands, Disney, have done it on VV, and I have kind of wondered if they'd be a big ecosystem for gaming.
It would be cool. That's a lot of powerful brands to have behind you.
Big time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of proof in their pudding.
I'll have to dive more into that because I have heard of it before. Now that you mention it, with those brands, it tickles of familiarity. I'll have to dive into it.
It tickles of familiarity. Oh my god.
The synapses.
I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I just wanted to, because it's relevant. Give that comment its airtime.
I was scrolling around trying to find Nick. I know I asked you a follow-up question and I lost your answer, but someone was asking about, like, you know, would you still, or Nick Johnson was asking if you'd still be into Sol if it suffered, you know, a hack or something like that. You know, the answer, as with all things, is usually it depends. All I do know about Solana specifically is that the reason that they went down to $8 in the bear market from where they were kind of maintaining as the probable bear market low last time was because of the, you know, disassembly of FTX as an entity, and the fact that everyone just sort of assumed, like, oh, this dog shit, you know, VC funded network that was exclusively propped up by Alameda Research and Sam Bankman-Fried, and that's where all their money was tied up in, and blah blah blah, whatever, is never coming back. And it went to 8, and then all of a sudden it went to 210. So and now it is heavily used, and, you know, pretty much everyone who wants to do stuff on Web3 is doing it on Solana. Every celebrity launching a meme is launching it on Sol. They're not launching it anywhere else, and that's, you know, that's a thing. So yeah, I would still probably have conviction in it if, you know, some single piece of bad news came out or whatever, just because it's weathered the storm before. But it depends. You know, if something insane happened, then sure, I would always reconsider the position. You have to, otherwise you're an idiot.
Yeah, there was a tweet that went out this morning that didn't have a verified source, but it was talking about how 25% of the total supply of Solana is about to be released to sell-side pressure because of some fallout of one of the VCs having that amount and needing to sell it. It was zero source. It was just a tweet that got popular. So,
okay, I know what you're talking about. Then that thing popped up originally as a tweet. Was it the secret wallets thing?
I don't remember. It was an individual person. But
Okay,
I forget everything that was in the tweet exactly.
There was I'll have to look and see if it's the same thing, but maybe 2 weeks ago or so, there was a rumor about secret wallets from the FTX thing that had a huge percentage of the Solana supply just sitting in them, and everyone was like, "Wait, so are we to take this to understand sourceless again?" Just kind of this baseless claim. If this is a real claim, then absolutely share the sources. Like, I don't know, some wallet addresses could be cool.
Could be cool.
And there was none of that. I'll have to go back on. I haven't been on Twitter or anything like that in a couple of days, but it was basically, yeah, Will, it was a sourceless claim that I did not even see any of the usual, like, core devs respond to, which made me think, if they're not platforming this to debunk it, then it's even worse than the normal FUD. Because usually you'll see Mert dismantle some stuff, but he didn't dismantle anything on that one. And I meant to, like, go back and do some digging, but I assume that's what that's talking about.
I heard that too, and I heard a really good rationale for, like, why it wasn't concerning to the person who was talking, and I honestly can't find it.
It was basically just that, you know, you have some very intense scrutiny on Solana as an ecosystem as a result of, I mean, don't forget that Solana was the subject of a congressional inquiry, and they called a bunch of witnesses, and there was a lot of, you know, forensic accountants and blockchain analysts and all these people working on this to find, like, where FTX was hiding money, because they were, you know, bankrupt and defunct and defrauding investors and all this stuff, and you have to pay those investors back as much as you can. And I just find it very hard to believe that they would have casually overlooked almost a quarter of the supply of Solana in their deep dive to, you know, investigate and inspect that defunct platform. That would be oversight of the highest order, which is not to say that it's impossible, for the record, but I would need a lot more than just some anonymous account on Twitter telling me that that's the case before I would give it any credibility.
Agreed.
I need to go and get on the road and pack up and all that good stuff. I'll be back home and back to normal tomorrow morning. So I will see you guys then, and I'll be I'll be around. So thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah, we'll be on the meeting with Kyle today. I feel like I don't have an invitation for that. What time is that?
Well, it should just be our normal at
Oh, it's our normal stand-up time.
yes.
Got it.
And I'll be home before then, so I'll get invites sent out. No worries.
Okie dokie. Safe travels. Thanks for joining.
See you,
Good to
dude.
see you guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Will, did you ever see? I had a comment with Devil King. Did you ever see Constitution DAO a couple years ago?
No.
Raised almost $50 million to buy the Constitution of the United States. That was like the whole purpose of this DAO, and it just blew up. It started off as some friends who were like, guys, we should buy the Constitution. And they were sharing all those Nicolas Cage National Treasure memes, but like, buy the Constitution. And it got a ton of attention. It just went totally viral. It was 2021, maybe. And they actually almost did it. There was, in fact, an auction for the Constitution, and they looked like they were about to get it. And then somebody outbid them. Somebody paid, I think it was like $55 million for this copy of the Constitution, or the right to own the document or whatever. They wanted to buy it and give it to the people, kind of thing. It was nuts, and it sparked a brief trend of DAOs buying ridiculous stuff.
That would have been amazing.
It's a good crypto history
So
lesson.
poetic.
It was a wild time. It was a simpler time, but a wild time.
Also would have been like such a flex to have, as like Gary Gensler kept attacking crypto, just to be like, we'll light it on fire. We'll light it on. We own it. We own it. Oh, that'd be good.
Somebody came in who said they're late to the chat, and they wanted to know if there's an update because it feels like the market is bearish and wants to break out. What would you say to that person who's maybe looking for a little reassurance?
I would say, if you believe that Bitcoin is going to mirror the stock market, you can look at the stock market and you can see some gaps on the chart. If you don't know anything about gaps, there are like open spaces on the chart that typically always get filled, like 98% of the time, which means that price would need to move up in the stock market this week, which could be good for Bitcoin, could cause Bitcoin to go up, potentially, right? If you believe that they're paired to each other, and usually they are. There's also a bunch of data that is coming out this week that, if it's good, could cause markets to go up right now too. There's inflation data coming out on Tuesday and Wednesday, the PPI inflation and the CPI inflation. So if those two inflationary numbers beat expectations, markets could pump on that, because we're definitely in a position to get rate cuts in September. And then on Wednesday and Thursday also, or Thursday and Friday, we're also getting economic data on retail sales, as well as jobless claims from last week. So if those are bullish data points too, then the market could keep going up throughout this week if we get all of those data points coming in really, really well. But do keep in mind, if those data points come in poorly, you're right, the market is very sensitive and fragile right now. So if we get bad news from those macroeconomic points, it could really send the market down. If we get a war escalation in the Middle East, which everyone's speculating is going to happen tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, right? That would also be bad for markets, because again, markets are very fragile right now. But there are some good bullish things to look at for this week. Stock market has gaps further up, could have good data points, all that stuff, right? So there might be some more green coming in the days to come throughout this week. When I look at longer term timeframes for Bitcoin, I'm still worried because we have lower highs, lower lows. We need to break that trend on long-term timeframes. But, on the daily, could have some good things happen over the next few days. But keep your eye on the macroeconomic data and also on news from the Middle East, because that'll affect oil prices, which will affect inflation.
There's a lot of it coming, and we will be here to walk you through it. I'm sure that tomorrow everybody is going to want to hear a little synopsis of the news that comes out on Wednesday, Thursday. We'll miss Friday, but we'll catch up to it. We're here every Monday through Thursday, same time, same place, and we'll be glad to go over it with you. I realize I neglected to say something about, as long as we're talking about bad news and what to do for it, about the Solana supply. I really think that based on what Alex said, if a significant event happened that 8% of the Solana supply was sold by a single actor, or retail investors got really scared about their Bitcoin ETFs, or something happened that caused a big dump of tokens onto the market like that, I honestly think it would be mostly absorbed and corrected by the market. I think there are a lot of people who would love if Solana's supply just was dumped on the market in that regard. It would not only give people an opportunity to buy at the discount who believe in the future of the network, but it would further decentralize the network. All of a sudden, that 8% of supply that was in one single wallet is going to go into the hands of lots of different people. Maybe some people who are buying for the first time, but also probably some people who have conviction in the asset and want to hold it for a while. I think that would be net good for the ecosystem, honestly. And generally speaking, when there are events like that, like if you're not buying it, Michael Saylor is, kind of thing. The people who have the most conviction are buying.
Michael Saylor's trying to raise $2 billion to buy Bitcoin, which he does. He does that with his stocks. He uses MicroStrategy to raise money to then buy Bitcoin and add it to MicroStrategy's balance sheet. So he's in the process right now of raising $2 billion to buy Bitcoin. So that's also a potential good thing for markets.
Yeah, no kidding. Real quick, let me say this, because we're getting to that time where we start to give final thoughts, wrap up. But before we do, I want to let everybody know that on my final thought, I'm going to use a random number generator to pick a random number so that we can do this banana gun giveaway for the first week. If you want to win $50 in Sol that you can trade on meme coins on the Banana Gun platform, that you can send to your favorite staking protocol, that you can do whatever you want with because you hold the private key and because that Sol is yours because we gave it to you, then all you need to do is visit theriseupmorningshow.com or jump in the Discord and find our referral link for Banana Gun. They're the first official sponsor of the Rise Up Morning Show. They have a Telegram bot that allows you to quickly start trading cryptocurrency. It's about 6 seconds faster than Dex Screener, and it's super simple. We have a tutorial for how to use it. We have a referral link that'll get you there, and all you need to do to enter the giveaway is post a screenshot that shows you got in. You followed our referral link and you got in. Don't send us your private keys. Don't send us your passwords. Don't do any of that. Just post a screenshot. If you're not in the Discord, if you don't have the link, you need those instructions again, head to theriseupmorningshow.com. That is the best place to find all of the links related to our show. You can find the referral link there. And if you miss it, if you're like, oh, Evan, wait, don't pull a name yet, don't fret. We're going to do another giveaway this week. They sponsor the show for 2 weeks. And we would love to give them a strong showing as a sponsor by getting a lot of signups for this thing. This is a thing you have to spend no money on whatsoever. You don't even have to trade meme coins on it. It is good to walk through the process of checking out a product, using any interface that you can learn to make more secure for trading tokens, understanding the implications of ownership. It's all going to happen fast, and we want you to feel like you're up to speed on it. So this is our chance to do that. It helps us, it helps the show, and you can win $50. So what are you waiting for? Get on over there. All of our links are at riseupmorningshow.com.
One thing that we all think is really cool about this is it does have like an automatic honeypot detector, so that if you're about to put money into a crypto that is about to just steal your money, it will automatically prevent you from falling into that trap, which I think is quite possibly one of the coolest features of it, and potentially the main reason to at least try it out and give it a whirl. Because we all know there are a lot of traps in crypto. There are, especially in meme coin land, and it's good to have some kind of security tip to protect yourself from your own mistakes, because no one's perfect. So yeah.
And if you have a question, suggestion about a company that you think we should work with, then that's we're open for that. We're obviously going to talk to Warby Parker. We're talking with Coinbase. We really want this to be a place that the most trusted names in crypto are helping us scale this education so that more and more people can be part of the community, benefit from giveaways like this, from first access to products, and just a better story. So if you are that sponsor or you know that sponsor, send them to us. Devil King, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, then let me tell you what. For a price, we can move our time slot to 1 p.m. You can sponsor the 1 p.m. slot. I could be bought to do that. Get at me. Let us know. We'll be happy to make it happen. Will, am I missing anything in the chat? What else are you thinking about? Because I'm seeing a couple comments come through, and I might catch up on them, but I might need you to stall for me for a second.
All good. I would say if there's anyone here who wants to talk to us about sponsoring the show, we can always talk. The biggest thing we're looking for, as Evan said, is trusted names, because we want to protect our brand, but also we want to protect you guys too. We want to make sure that what we're bringing to our audience and to you guys is trusted in the space. We want to make sure it's genuinely useful, right? It's really helpful either for experienced traders or for newbies, right? So those are pretty much the credentials. So as long as it kind of hits those two marks, those are things we're more than comfortable exploring.
Yeah, thank you, Will. We do have a couple questions. I say, what do you think about this? I could stick around for a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up in about 10. I'll do a final drawing for this name, and we can ride our ponies off into the sunset. You feel good about it?
I feel good about it, but we've also kind of talked about Banana Gun. I feel like people are excited about the giveaway. You want to
just do the giveaway right now?
Just do the giveaway right now.
Okay, let me pull up my random number checker. Can you believe this? There are only, let me count. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the drawing. You have a 1 in 6 chance right now if you are one of these people. Dave in the comments just slid in at the end right there. I know Keith is in this drawing. So let me, I'm just going to assign.
Do you want to give people 5 minutes to try to dive into the Discord?
I kind of want to give people 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So the steps are, step 1, go to the Discord. Step 2, once you get there, you got to verify. But that's like, you can make that happen. If you scroll up just a little bit, like the very last post from me in general chat has got a link to the public forum where the post is to post your proof to Banana Gun. It's got the referral link. If you can't find it, I'm watching the general chat actively right now. Rick just said, I'm here. I'm going to tell him, enter the contest, man. Enter.
And apparently in San Diego.
San Diego. Very nice. Devil King is here. Okay, so just scroll up a little bit, find that post in the public forum, and then all you got to do is use our referral link, go to the bot, take a screenshot, post it. That's it. I'll give you 5 minutes to do it, and we'll answer a couple of questions back and forth until you get there. Your Resonance asked a good question about how can you check if a token is safe to buy or sell, like if you can actively sell it before you buy it. The simple check would be to use a tool like Token Sniffer, Quick Intel, Go Plus, a bot like this one that'll simulate a transaction so that you can make sure it's not a honeypot. The other thing is go to the Blockchain Explorer, and you can find the code for any smart contract in the Block Explorer. If you need a video for how to do that, we've got one on YouTube. But I would head to SoulScan or to EtherScan or just Google Blockchain Explorer, how to read. You will find a resource or two that will show you where you can copy the code that dictates what a token is allowed to do. This is the smart contract. You can paste that into a tool like GPT and just ask it. Or better yet, find a community of people that are learners at all levels of experience so that when you have a sketchy contract, you're unsure, you can ping in and ask. That's why we built this community, is so people can ask questions like that. Do you have any other tips, Will? Things you would do before you bought a token to sniff it out?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is go and use a block explorer. So how you get to that is go on your coin market cap, CoinGecko, find the coin. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see the token contract address. Click that, and what it'll do is it'll bring up the token allocation across all the various wallets. So you might see a really big supply in one wallet. It could even be 70%. If you do a little bit of digging, usually, not in all cases, but usually that's the wallet that holds the supply that slowly gets stripped out over time. So you can usually ignore that first one, but verify that. And then below that, if you have the first top 10 wallets have a very high percentage of the supply, very high. I'm talking 20% or more across the top 10 wallets. That's something to be worried about. because that means that even if there's nothing malicious planned there, if one of those people choose to sell, has a really big market impact on the coin. So it's a very risky coin to get into in the best case scenario. In the worst case scenario, they are all planning to dump on you at the same time. You know, the team has malicious intent to rug pull you. So also something to take a look at.
Honestly, that is like understated, because it is really easy for a developer wallet, somebody who holds the private keys, to airdrop tokens to a bunch of different wallets, or to coordinate a buy early on from a bunch of different wallets to make it look like one wallet doesn't hold a lot. They might do that. They might, kind of sprinkle their big chunk. Maybe they do hold 20%, but it's in 20 different wallets, but they control all the wallets. So there are lots of little tips and tricks and things you can look for, but that one's, that's underrated for sure. Mm-hmm. We're getting referrals roll in. I'm loving it. If you're having trouble, just post in the general chat there. I'll let it go like one more minute or so, and then I'll take all these numbers and put them in the random number generator. That's very exciting.
Well, while we're waiting still, I'm always fascinated. It's so boring sometimes. By getting into crypto, I've also gotten into macroeconomics. And it's like, wait, I got in because of this picture of a dog, and I think one of my favorite sentences was, I got in because of this picture of a dog, and now I know and have the dates of FOMC meetings on my calendar. But that's the beautiful thing. But I have like the Bitcoin chart and the S&P 500 next to each other, and Bitcoin, as soon as the stock market turned on, has actually started to dip a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, and the stock market is going up to fill gaps. It's interesting. Just like, I don't know, it's fun to watch. It's interesting. I'd like it to just be up together forever.
Yeah, that would be nice. I remember taking an economics class in college that had the most boring, dry, old white guy.
Hold on a second. I'm listening, but I just got a question of where is the Discord. Let me see if I can put an invite for the Discord right here in the live.
I put the link, and honestly, look at this. This is where all the links for the show live. It's so tiny. It's the riseupmorningshow.com. Everything lives there. The riseupmorningshow.com. Somebody said when you join the live, it says you are the founder of Web3. I mean it. It says Web3 founder. The way somebody would say like automotive founder or IT founder or music founder. I don't know. Founder in this space. I'm character limited, man. What do you want from me?
I'm character. No, I like it. I like thinking that you are actually Satoshi.
Yeah. If you are the founder of Web3, I guess it begs the question, what is Web3? But it gives you a monopoly on the answer. It's whatever I say it is. Damn it. Okay, I see everybody's entries coming in. If you took a screenshot, you're in. Peter, you're in. Don't fret. Let me real quick, we'll do a song and dance so that I can put a check on these entries and make sure I don't miss anybody. And then I'm going to throw them in a random number generator. Oh. Listen, man. That only on OnlyFans. Dang, baby.
only with my 1/3 awkward short sleeve hoodie.
I was like, are you about to, it looks like you're about to, I can't tell if you're about to like do like Assassin's Creed or go on a bicycle race.
Well, I could do both because I'm protected with a little tiny hood from the rain, but also everyone gets to see my guns, But then also, in case it's hot and raining, sleeves, chest hair, but my hair stays nice and dry. It's optimal clothing.
Dang, man. Optimal clothing.
I'm pretty cool as I play with my Pokemon lighter with Charizard using flamethrower.
Okay, real quick for everybody who's in already, I'm gonna cut it off in just a second here. I see Danner mile marker just landed. I'm gonna count these up, and then you'll be number whatever. Will keep going for me. I got to use all my brain cells to count.
Hold on a second. I'm just letting everybody know this guy. So Will's shilling his banana gun. No, so yeah, guys, the Discord is free, totally free. There are services in there you could pay for, but totally free to be in the Discord. You can get access to ask questions to myself, Evan, and Alex for free. If you want to pay for premium, you can. Premium gets you discounts to other services like booking time on our calendars to ask us questions, or let us review your portfolio, or just talk about like anything you really want to talk about, right? So that's what that gets. But otherwise, ton of stuff in there for free. I'm trying to add more and more free value in there as well. But otherwise, it gets you better and closer access to us. What do you think Elon X Spaces with Donald Trump will do for the market if he talks about crypto? If they talk about crypto, I mean, like, hey, yeah, it could be good. You know, we know Trump has really good positive policies for crypto, but I don't think they will spend much time thinking about it or talking about it, because I watched Trump's speech at Bitcoin Nashville conference, and like that's the time where he would talk the most about crypto. And in that speech, it was probably like 70% political speech, 20% talking about crypto, and then 10% other things. So, you know, if such a small portion of his speech at the Bitcoin Nashville conference was about crypto and Bitcoin, I would imagine their conversation on X with Elon is going to be more about kind of like culture war things, about Kamala, more political stuff. So I don't think they're going to be talking too much about crypto. So I'm not expecting a ton from that. And we'll see, because we'll just kind of see how that goes, because it's an interesting combination of personalities if you're just talking personalities, because you have Trump's personality, which is, you know, Trump, a very colorful person. And then you have Elon, who is also, from like a social communication standpoint, not the greatest, incredibly intelligent, but like not the greatest communicator. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how, if they're able to kind of pair well together and like deliver a good interview kind of session. So we'll see. I know it's niche, but I need Captain Hammer ASAP. Well, that's my stripper name, so only on your birthday, and I have to get my girlfriend's approval first.
Captain Hammer, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is. Oh, I did act as a stripper once. That was fun. I had a cowboy outfit and everything. That was senior year of college. That was a good time. Oh my God, Will, you missed my birthday.
I was going to say, no comment, man. No comment.
I got paid by a sorority brought me in. It was great. They're like, Will, be our stripper. And I was like,
did you do an outfit?
Yeah, no, I had a stripper cowboy outfit. It was great. And then I had an American flag Speedo underneath. It was a very patriotic cowboy.
The first time I got paid to do that, I was paid $25 and pizza to go to a group of bachelorettes, and I didn't have an outfit, but this was just a friend who said, Evan, you seem like the kind of guy who would do this, and they were right.
They were right, yeah.
And I can't tell you probably any more stories than that, because I got to do the giveaway. I will gladly click this again, but what I have done, just so you can see here, the interest of proof and pudding, is I have clicked into a random number generator. We have gotten 15 signups in the time. I generated the number 2, though I would be glad to do it again if everybody's like, you know, I need to see you do it. If you don't get chosen, if you are not number 2, take heart, because everybody's going to be entered into a drawing for $50 again next week. We'll do it same time, same place. So if you didn't get in or you didn't get chosen, then you got time. Now, here's the way I'm counting this. Who is number 2, you ask? Well, of the 15 total entrants, 3 of them happened in our general chat. This is how I counted it. I counted back. Peter was the last eligible entry. So 15, 14, 13. And then I went over to Banana Gun. Lax, you posted twice. Crazer was the last entry. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Lax posted 2 pictures. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Number 2 and number 1, which means the winner of this contest, number 2, the second person who posted proof was Keith. Keith is in the chat, I believe. Keith, congratulations. You are the $50 winner for this week. I am going to send that soul to an address of your choice. I'm going to publish this in the newsletter too. I'll post it in the Discord. so that there he is. There's Keith. Let me know which wallet you want us to send this to. And then we'll do another giveaway next week. And actually, this is funny because I think Keith, I'm gonna have to look back in the chat. I think it was you who, after you signed up, you were playing around with a meme coin and you lost $15 or something. So hopefully that helps offset your losses and gives you some more firepower to play with, or stake, or trade, or sell. Do whatever you want with. It's coming to you as Sol. So W's in the chat for Keith. Give me a W, Keith, in the chat. And if you need the link, don't forget, it's at theriseupmorningshow.com. We'd love to see you in the Discord. We'd love to see your honest feedback about Banana Gun. And if you have questions about that, we have a tutorial for it. But we also like plenty of other trading bots too. We've used BonkBot, we've used PhotonBot, and definitely want to help you feel like you're able to use it securely, safely. So let us know what your final thoughts are. Will, I'm going to kick it over to you for your final thought, and then we can ride our ponies into the sunset. I'd say that was a pretty successful show.
Yeah, well, guys, if you have any questions, final questions in the last few minutes, put them in the chat. If there was a question that you put in and we didn't have a chance to get to, now's your chance. Final thoughts on the market, or just in general. I would just say as like a general tip, because I found myself in the position, which is why I de-risked, is like, if you are overexposed to the market, ask yourself the question, if worst case scenario happens and this money really starts going down that I've invested, how upset am I? You know? And if you realize you're further on that scale of upset, maybe you should de-risk. And that's what I found I had for myself. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, let me de-risk a little bit. You know, so always continue to ask yourself that question. If things get real bad, am I going to be really upset at myself if this money really goes down? So do that. I did see a question. I know it came through from JP. CPI incoming this week. Let me actually look up what the CPI expectations are. Oh, wait a second. I do have them. I already have them.
You got them? Yeah, we've got CPI, we've got unemployment, we've got a couple big numbers reports coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you know that we're going to talk about it here on the show. Obviously, Will give the previews in a second when he gets back from checking those numbers. But if that's a question you have, don't fret, don't sweat. Tune in tomorrow at 7 Central Standard Time.
Okay, so we have two inflation numbers that are coming out. There's the PPI inflation, which comes out tomorrow. PPI inflation is inflation for goods that companies buy from manufacturers, right? So, you know, a company needs to buy supply, and if those supplies increase, that's PPI. The forecast for that inflation is 0.1%. So if inflation comes in at 0.2%, that would be bad for markets. If that inflation number comes in at probably just 0.1% or 0% even, that would be good for markets. Then you have CPI inflation, which I believe is coming out on Wednesday. Maybe it's coming out on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. That is the inflation of everyday goods. So like your food, your gas, your transportation, your housing, all that stuff. It's the inflation that the Fed really cares about. It's the inflation we all really care about. The forecast for that for the month of July is 3%. So if inflation comes in at 2.9% or lower, that'll be good for markets. If it comes in higher than 3%, that would be bad for markets. And the reason why is because if inflation goes down or holds, but really if it goes down, it's an even higher likelihood that we get rate cuts in the middle of September, which is what the markets want, right? And the markets want it in a real big way, real bad way. If inflation goes up, though, it adds a little bit more uncertainty as to what the Fed is going to ultimately do, or if they do cut rates, maybe it won't be as bullish as everyone's expecting, because everyone is expecting right now. It's called a 50 basis point reduction in interest rates, but that is a reduction of 0.5 percentage point. So if the Fed comes out and says, hey, we're going to reduce rates, but we're going to take it slow, and it's only going to be 25 basis points, while rate cuts is what the market needs right now, the market could see that and be like, it's not enough, and now we're worried. So those are the things to keep your eye on there for CPI. The other two really important things are we have our weekly jobless report that comes out on Wednesday also, I believe, or Thursday. Obviously, if jobless claims are going up, that's bad. If it's down, that's good. Pretty self-explanatory. And then the other thing is U.S. retail sales. So if retail sales are still up, that means that people are still spending money. That means that the economy is still growing. If retail sales are down, it's the opposite, right? So those are all the data points to look at this week, and keep your eyes on the Middle East.
Keep your eyes in the Middle East. Excellent. Well said. Thank you very much, Will. And if you got a question that we didn't get to, this is your final chance to jump into the Discord server. This chat will disappear. That is where the show lives 24/7. You can find the link to get there at the riseupmorningshow.com. And of course, if you missed that, don't fret, don't sweat. It's all over our profiles. Make sure to follow me, follow Will. We'll help you get connected with Alex. These are our only profiles. We're never going to DM you first. If we need to message you, we will tell you. We're never going to ask you for money. There are lots of impersonators who will. So please do follow these accounts because they're our authentic accounts, and we don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to find us again as you're scrolling past. We really would love to see you in the community. We'd love to see you back on the show because we will be.
And if you want my expectations of what the CPI, the inflation data, is going to be, I bet it's going to be pretty positive. I'm trying to pull up the chart on oil because my memory of here we go, finally, U.S. oil. The reason why I'm looking up oil is because oil affects gas prices. Willing for president, I don't want the job. Just make me rich. And so, no. I'll take mayor of Boston, though. That's about as high in politics as I'd like to go. Mayor of Boston would be great.
I feel like mayor is such a thankless job.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, I'd like really adopt a full-on Boston accent.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so let's see. In the month of July... Yeah, in the month of July, oil prices really fell. So that should be good for inflation. It's one of the leading causes of inflation. So if the month of July, oil went down, inflation data should lean towards more of the bull case. So I would expect to get some good inflation data, not tomorrow, but Wednesday when the CPI data comes out. Unless, of course, housing really got more expensive or food really got more expensive to outweigh that. But oil went down by quite a bit through the month of July. So we'll see.
Very interesting. Yeah. I have no expectation. I honestly don't follow it until it happens. And then when we get on the show and talk about it, I tend to not be a macroecon guy. Like I said, that class I had really turned me off. That guy and his chalkboard left a scar on my mind, though I do enjoy learning about it. And I really learn a lot about it from you, Will, because you put it so succinctly.
You guys want to talk about inflation?
Let me just show you. Yeah, right, exactly.
I just I've stenciled my chest hair into the message of the day.
Oh, gosh. Consumer index, yeah. That would be, honestly,
and the
novel.
CPI data of the month is 2.9%.
I feel like that would be a sleeper hit video. You might get 2.9 million views, and I bet you would have comments full of people being like, didn't think I was going to learn econ today.
And then I just have to change my entire channel. It just posts once a month so I can let my chest hair grow back to re-stencil it.
Well, if that happens, I promise you we'll bring it here. It'll be a lot of fun one day, but not today because we got to go. We got to take our dog and ponies out of here. So everybody join us tomorrow on the show, same time, same place, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Get in the Discord. Find all the links at the riseupmorningshow.com. Thank you, everybody, for being the best part of this show. And until next time, my friends.
See you guys. I'll bring my chest hair NFT collection next week.